Hey guys, this is Phil from OnEducation.com, and this is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3. It hasn't been long since the Xiaomi Redmi Note 2 was launched. There are not exactly much of the differences over here. They added the fingerprint reader and they boosted up the battery to 4000 milliamps. Of course, that's the large differences to the perspectives, but here we go. So in front, we got the display. This is as big as the Galaxy Note 3. Well, this isn't exactly the Galaxy Note 3, this is a part of it, but this is as big as the Galaxy Note 3 with the 1080p resolution, and there's a receiver and front-facing camera along with the multitasking key, home and the back key. It looks like a menu key, so we guess there are some parts left from the previous version of the Redmi Notes. On the right, we got the volume rocker with the power key. On top, we have the earphone jack and the infrared port there with the secondary microphone, and along with the dual SIM card slot, which has a micro SIM instead of the nano SIM like almost all of the recent mobile devices. On the bottom, we got the micro USB port with the microphone, and on the back, we have the camera with the dual LED flash and the fingerprint reader, which is not the blazingly fast like the iPhone 6s or the 6s Plus, but considering the price differences, it's fast enough. There's a Xiaomi logo there, speaker grill, along with the little bump to prevent speaker from getting totally blocked and not being able to boost up any sounds output. So let's dive right into the software with the fingerprint reader. So you can tap and hold to turn on or unlock your phone. So when your screen is locked, it's going to look like this. There you go. It was actually pretty fast. Inside the phone, it has this proprietary MIUI. It's not exactly proprietary. It's a fork OS of the Android system. This one is based on Android Lollipop. It's, to be more specific, it's based on the Android 5.0.2, but don't expect anything of the material design over at MIUI because albeit the lots of themes that they have, the OS itself doesn't look like Android or the Lollipop's material design at all. So most of the settings are hidden under the additional settings, and the part that I really don't like about the MIUIs, aside from the launcher, which doesn't have the app drawer, is how they messed up the settings. So let's go to battery performances. I wanted to have the maximum performance of everything, so I went to the power setting, and here's a power setting, and it has performance or the balance. Okay, I'm gonna choose performance, and here's optimize system performance. Again, okay, there's two power settings here, although this is related more to animation, not your CPU usage. So I go to manage apps battery use. So there's another battery use that I can individually select which apps is going to be restricted with the data usage. And here is another one called power. And here's another one called profiles. And here's marathon, sleep, and default. I don't know what to choose, and I can't even add up one. Okay, I got a lot of choices over here. Even one more, there's battery saver, and there's a whole lot of options for you to choose from. I'm not against the options. Of course, it's better for you to have options and not use it, but this is too much that I don't know even where I'm supposed to find my things. And look at this battery indicator over here. So battery indicator here is graphical percentage or top bar, so I can choose between how I'm going to be indicating with the battery usage over there. And you go to power, settings, and there's battery indicator again. So there are overlapping settings with too much confusing things. So this is what MIUI is. They try to make things better, but they were only better in the ages of the cupcake and donut or eclair or at max gingerbread. At the age of Android Lollipop and Marshmallow, this isn't good anymore. And also the multitasking pane over here is still with the icon. This looks like a realm of the gingerbread. Since the ice cream sandwich, Android always had the multitasking panel with the apps that I can see. I only have to look at the icons and there is no way for you to change it, which I'm going to kill all. Probably the only good thing over the stock Android. So here's the launcher, and as I mentioned, it doesn't have the app drawer. It's just like the iPhone launcher, so you will be having to scroll around to find your app that you like. Of course, you can pull down to get the notification bar, which is confusing as well, so you can swipe left or right to search between your quick panel. Another confusing thing is a notification icon, which only displays as an icon over there. If you have a battery percentage or the CPU meter that displays numbers with the icons, you'll be only seeing the app's icon, not the icons that they choose to. So here's another limitation for you. A lot of us use the camera with the smartphone. So the camera on this guy is of course a concern, and it has an 8 megapixel camera, which is not bad in a daylight. But in the bright daylight, every single camera in this modern smartphone world is pretty good. What it matters is when you get into inside or when you're in a darker environment. And this guy suffers in such environments. And the selfie camera, although it's actually pretty sufficient in numbers, suffers a lot. The colors are washed out and the details are smudged, and I was actually pretty surprised to see how bad the front-facing camera is. Of course, this might not all be relevant to the prices of the device, because this is a little bit over 180 bucks for 3 gigabytes of RAM and 32 gigabytes of storage, which you cannot expand, by the way. And what you get with that is the Helio X10 processor, which is super capable, 3 gigabytes of RAM and 4000 milliamps of battery. Performance-wise, this is actually pretty good. Helio X10 is octa-core A53 cores. The performance is pretty good whether you play games, unless it's a hardcore 3D game all along, you'll have no problems at all. Although the MIUI itself, the visual artifacts over here are not that smooth. So whatever you launch, you'll be seeing somewhat of a sluggish lag because due to the low frame rates. And what about that battery life? It has 4000 milliamps of battery, and it's going to be enough to last with the 4 to 5 hours of the screen on time. That sounds pretty good. Well, it is to an extent, and it is to the other one. For 4000 milliamps, it's not a good battery life because we remember Galaxy S6, which had less than 3000 milliamps of battery and easily gave us the 5 hours of the screen on time. So with 4000 milliamps of battery time and with that screen on time, we have to say that this isn't exactly the most energy efficient one. But hey, at least it's giving us 4 to 5 hours of screen on time, so it's okay. So that's the Xiaomi Redmi Note 3, sorry. It's okay, and it is actually very good for your penny for the specs, some of your specs. Helio X10, RAM amounts, and the battery capacity is the parts that it's done good with the pricings. But the rest of the factors of the phone are exactly what you pay for. I actually remember saying this for the review of the OnePlus X. You get what you pay for, and that has been the rule of thumb for pretty much all human history. And this is no exception. MIUI still suffers with the lack of thoughts of the menu maps, and the material design is completely gone, and multitasking is a pain, and optimization simply is not good. Of course, you could install custom ROM like the Cyanogen mod on this guy when or if the bootloader gets unlocked, but you have to consider that as your price. Your time matters, your time costs. And with the cost that you save with the price of the phone, you'll have to spend it somewhere. So that Xiaomi Redmi Note 3 is a good phone for the buck that you pay, but not entirely saving one. Good battery life, good performance, but bad OS, so the decision is yours. Mine is not for it. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. We got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. Don't forget, and we'll see you guys later. Ciao.